This video is on function values. Here I have a function. This is a equation written in slope-intercept form, y equals 3x. It's also a function. I can rewrite this as the function of x equals 3x. And then I could ask the question, find the function of 2. Okay, so I have my original function, f of x equals 3x. Find f of 2. Well, I'm going to replace everywhere I see an x with a 2. If f of x equals 3x, then f of 2 equals 3 times 2, and 3 times 2 is 6, and that is my answer. So it'll say if f of x equals 3x, then find f of 2, or something like that. Let me do another. I'm going to use the same function, f of x equals 3x, and this time it says find f of -5. Now, I don't have to replace this x with -5. That's really not important. I'm just going to replace the right side. So instead of writing 3x, I'm going to replace with -5. And the answer is -15. Now, if I finish that out, I don't have to do this, but f of -5 equals, and f of -5 equals, but really all I need to know is -15. Now, it could also say g of x. So it could say if g of x, or h of x, or I of x, or f of x, it really doesn't matter, equals, and let's say 4x minus 1, and then it says find g of 4. Okay, so I'm going to replace this x with a 4 and this x with a 4. It really doesn't matter that I replace this one. I just need to do this one. So that's going to be 4 times 4 minus 1. I'll replace that x with 4 because that's what it told me to do. 16 minus 1. My answer is 15. Find g of c minus 1. So everywhere I see x, I'm going to replace it with c minus 1. So instead of 4x minus 1, I'm going to replace that x with what it tells me to, c minus 1, and I'm going to work it out. 4 times c, distributive property, is 4c. 4 times -1 is -4. And I bring down this -1. I've got like terms here. So my answer is 4c minus 5. So if g of x is 4x minus 1, then g of c minus 1 is, let me just write that, g of c minus 1 equals, and you don't have to write this part, just this part. If g of x is 4x minus 1, then g of c minus 1 is 4c minus 5. Let's look at another really easy one. If h of x equals -2x plus 1, then find h of -3. All right. If I replace this x with -3, then I got to replace all my x's with -3. So this is going to be -2 times -3 plus 1, which is 6 plus 1, and your answer is 7. That is how you find function values. Let's look at one more example. F of x equals 2x minus 1 says f of x equals 2x minus 1. Find f of 8. This means plug in 8 for all the x's. So f of x is 2x minus 1. Find f of 8. I'll replace this with 8. Technically, I don't have to show that. And I'll replace this with 8. And I'll work it out and I get my answer, which in this case is 15. All right, you try some. So I'm given two function values, f of x equals 2x and g of x equals 3x minus 1. So I got to look and see what are they asking for. Number one, they're asking for f. So I'm going to use this one. If f of x equals 2x, find f of 5. Give that a try. And the answer is 10. I take this 5, plug it in for x. 2 times 5 is 10. Find f of negative 3. And your answer is negative 6. Take the negative 3, plug it in for x. Try number 3. Find f of n. Your answer is 2n. If I take this n and substitute it for my x's, I get 2 times n, which is just written 2n. On number 4, it's asking for g, so we got to look at this function. It's not asking me for f, it's asking me for g. G of x is 3x minus 1. Find g of 5. Do number 4. And your answer is 14. You take this 5, plug it in right here. You get 3 times 5, which is 15. Subtract 1 from it. The answer is 14. Try number 5. You plug 3 in. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, plus negative 1 is negative 10. And try number 6. You plug n in, you just get 3n minus 1, and that's all you can do with it. Let's try a couple more. If h of x equals negative 6x plus 15, find h of negative 3. Try number 7. So if I'm taking negative 3 and replacing x, negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. 18 plus 15 is 33. And if I were doing this on my paper, everything in the box would be on my paper. The rest of it I would not write. All right. If h of x equals negative 6x plus 15, find h of n minus 2. So I'm going to replace x with n minus 2. Distributive property, you get negative 6n plus 12. Bring down the plus 15. You have like terms to combine. That gives you 27. And your answer should have been negative 6n plus 27. And that's what I would have had on my paper right there.